All right, let's dive into a story that takes one of philosophy's biggest, most challenging ideas and drops it right into the middle of a cosmic showdown for the soul of humanity itself.
So let's just start with this question, because it really frames everything we're about to talk about. What if philosophy wasn't just a bunch of dense books? What if it was a full-blown comic book epic, where the ideas themselves were the superheroes and the villains?
Because that's exactly what we're looking at here. This is a story about a massive cosmic bet, with a frail, sickly 19th century scholar as the game piece, all leading to a transformation that completely obliterates the line between man and God. So, picture this. We open in some kind of cosmic void, and there's Mephistopheles, looking down on Earth with this cynical little smirk. He's watching the brilliant philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who's just racked with illness and despair, and he sees only one thing: weakness, a perfect example of human frailty.
And that observation, well, that's what kicks this all off. This is Act 1, the wager for humanity's soul. And believe me, this isn't some casual bet. This is a philosophical war for the future of our species. On one side, you have this vast, indifferent cosmic force. And on the other, you've got the living embodiment of doubt and denial. And what are they betting on? Just one man's mind, with the fate of all humanity hanging in the balance.
Okay, so let's get a handle on who these bettors actually are. What's so cool about this is they aren't just characters. They're living, breathing philosophies, basically locked in a cosmic argument.
First up, you've got the all-will. Now, this is not a god. Not in any way you'd recognize. It's more like a law of physics, like gravity. It's the indifferent, amoral engine of the universe. It's what Nietzsche called the will to power, that fundamental drive in everything to grow, to expand, and to overcome.
And his opponent? Mephistopheles. But forget the pitchfork and horns. This guy shows up as a slick figure in a modern business suit. He's the spirit who denies. His whole purpose is just to prove that humans, deep down, would always rather have a comforting lie than a difficult truth. He thinks our struggle for greatness is totally pointless. And these are the terms of their bet. The all-will wagers that Nietzsche will embrace what it calls a terrible freedom, a true affirmation of life, no matter how hard it is. Mephistopheles bets he'll just break, that he'll become a powerful slave who ends up begging for the sweet oblivion of just being comfortable. So, now let's zoom in on the subject of this whole cosmic experiment, the man himself, a frail scholar, hunched over a desk somewhere in 19th century Europe. And this is our Friedrich Nietzsche, a kind of Faust of the mind. He isn't just fighting against the slave morality of his time. No, he is driven by this deep, profound terror, a terror of becoming what he called the last man, that apathetic, comfortable little creature who just wants to be safe. And it's that fear that makes him desperate enough to make a deal with anyone or anything. So while everyone around him saw his radical ideas and failing health as just madness, the all-will saw something totally different. It saw the first spark of a real breakthrough, the divine frenzy of a mind that dared to stare right into the abyss of a godless universe and did not blink. And that divine frenzy? Well, that's the catalyst for the climax of this whole thing. This is the moment where philosophy stops being just theory and becomes terrifyingly real. This is the transformation. So humanity, in all its arrogance, tries to get in on the action. They create something called the Zarathustra Project. It's a scientific attempt to engineer Nietzsche's Overman, but for their own purposes, as a weapon, a powerful servant for their little wars. And their fatal flaw? They actually believed they could control the will to power. And right here, this is where we see the cosmic truth of the wager. The scientists, they thought their gamma rays were the source of the power. But they were wrong. That was just the key turning the lock. The real power, the real engine, was already there, inside Nietzsche's own unbreakable will. He's given a trigger, a single, potent word, a little nod to the old comic book gods that can unlock everything and just shatter the limits of human frailty. That word is Kimota. And with that one word, the transformation is total. It's absolute. The scholar, the sickness, the struggle, it is all just burned away. The frail philosopher was gone, and in his place stood something new, something powerful. But here's the twist. That transformation? That's not the end of the bet. Not even close. It's actually the beginning of the real test. Now the experiment truly begins.
And just look at Mephistopheles' reaction now. That cynical smile is gone. It's replaced by this genuine unease, maybe even fear. He doesn't see a hero, he sees a monster, a tyrant of the will that operates completely outside of human morality. For the first time, he's actually afraid of what's been created.
And this is exactly why he's afraid. The being that emerges, who they call Wotan, is the living embodiment of that terrible freedom. He answers to no one. He operates beyond our old ideas of good and evil. He creates his own values, his own law. He's not here to save humanity, he's here to surpass it. He is the living meaning of the earth.
So you see, the cosmic bet hasn't been won or lost. Not yet. The real proof, the thing that will decide the wager, is what this being, Wotan, does next with his absolute terrifying power.
And that's the question we're left with. Is this new God the ultimate affirmation of life, truly embracing that terrible freedom? Or, in the end, will he fall to the weakness of the last man that Mephistopheles is betting everything on? The wager's made, and now all we can do is watch.